Okay, two insects. 1 second. Pick your reaction. Monarch butterfly, Danos plexippus. It lands on your hand and suddenly you're in a Disney movie. You freeze, you whisper, you take 17 photos. American cockroach, Periplaneta americana. It appears in your kitchen at 2 a.m. and suddenly you're a completely different person. Gone is the rational adult. In its place, someone standing on a chair holding a sandal like a weapon, fully prepared to go to war. Now, here's the strange part. Nobody taught you to smile at butterflies, and nobody sat you down and explained why cockroaches feel deeply, personally offensive. It just happens, instantly. So I got curious, because that kind of reaction, that fast, that physical, that unanimous across cultures, doesn't come from nowhere. And what I found out is that this story didn't begin in kitchens. It began long before kitchens existed. Picture us about 100,000 years ago. No walls, no refrigerators, no pest control companies with same-day service and a cartoon bug on their van. Just us, huddled in caves and grass shelters, trying to survive. And here's what we did without realizing it. We created warmth. We created food scraps. We created waste. To us, that was just life. To small scavengers, that was a 5-star opportunity. Cockroaches, by the way, are ancient. Their ancestors existed over 300 million years ago, long before us, long before dinosaurs, long before basically anything we'd recognize. So when humans showed up, cockroaches were already experts at one specific thing: staying close to food without being noticed. That without being noticed part is critical, because cockroaches don't behave like animals that want your attention. They behave like animals optimized for invisibility. There's actually a name for it: thigmotaxis, a tendency to press against tight surfaces and stay hidden in cracks and folds. So imagine that playing out inside an early human shelter. Woven sleeping mats, animal skins, storage baskets, all of them perfect cockroach infrastructure. Lift a rock, 20 of them. Move a basket, 30 of them. Shake your sleeping skin in the dark? Congratulations, you've just discovered a feature you did not ask for. And this didn't happen once, it happened constantly, for thousands of years. Wherever we went, they went. Not because they liked us personally, although I remain unconvinced, but because we were, objectively, a great place to live. Now, here's a question worth pausing on. Squirrels also live near humans. They also steal food. Nobody jumps on a chair when they see a squirrel. So what's different about cockroaches? Partly the movement. Not just speed, but the specific kind of unpredictability that makes your skin crawl. Cockroaches stop, dart, zigzag, freeze for a second like they've reconsidered their entire life plan, then explode in a completely different direction. This is not random. It's actually a finely tuned survival system. Cockroaches have compound eyes made of hundreds of tiny visual units called ommatidia. They don't focus the way we do. Instead, they're extremely sensitive to shadows, air movement, sudden light changes, and vibration. That's why switching on a light sends them scrambling. To them, light means exposure. Exposure means predators. So their entire body is built to escape in the shortest possible time. Powerful hind legs that fire like a spring, capable of changing direction almost instantaneously. What you're watching when you see them randomly running is a system designed to survive sudden threats in unpredictable environments. But to your brain in that moment, it just looks like chaos. And the brain does not like chaos in small spaces. But here's what's weird. Even people who understand all of this, biologists, entomologists, people who study cockroaches professionally, still get that flash of discomfort when one runs across their foot.
understanding doesn't fix the reaction, which means the reaction isn't coming from logic. It's coming from somewhere much older. Long before we understood bacteria, viruses, or contamination, our brains evolved a rough but effective rule: avoid things that look like they might be connected to sickness. Scientists call this the behavioral immune system, a kind of pre-rational threat detection that runs underneath conscious thought. And what triggered it? Things like decay, mold, waste, crowded insects in dark places, unpredictable movement near food. Now, cockroaches didn't cause those things, they were just attracted to them, showing up wherever organic material was rotting, wherever food was left out, wherever waste accumulated. But the brain doesn't separate cause from association, it just sees the pattern repeat, thousands of times across thousands of years. These things show up where bad things are, so it filed them under avoid. And that pattern gets burned in so deep that today, even in a spotless kitchen, even when you know logically that one cockroach doesn't mean your home is contaminated, the reaction fires anyway. Before you decide anything, before you even consciously register what you saw. That's not irrational. That's just what a well-trained threat detector looks like from the inside. Let's talk about something everyone experiences and no one wants to discuss. You finally corner it. You grab your sandal. You strike. Victory. Except, no. Because now there's that. The broken legs, the strange white fluid, the antenna that is somehow still moving, the legs that continue twitching briefly after the whole thing should be over. And you're standing there having technically won, feeling like you've lost something. Here's why that happens. Cockroaches have what's called an open circulatory system. Their internal fluid, called hemolymph, isn't contained in closed vessels the way our blood is. When they're crushed, it leaks visibly. And those post-death leg twitches, that's residual nerve activity. Nerves can still fire briefly after the animal is already dead. To our brain, this registers as unfinished motion, something that should have stopped that hasn't fully stopped, and our brain hates that. Not fear exactly, more like rejection, which is why the discomfort doesn't end when the threat ends. Okay, here's the part where I have to be honest with you. Out of roughly 4,600 known species of cockroach, and yes, there are that many, only about 30 are considered pests. 30. The rest, living in forests, leaf litter, and soil ecosystems, quietly breaking down organic material and recycling nutrients back into the earth, doing essential work that nobody notices and nobody thanks them for. So what we've actually spent thousands of years despising is a very small subset of cockroaches that happened to evolve alongside us. The ones that stayed, the ones that followed us from caves to mud huts, from mud huts to villages, from villages to cities, not out of malice, but because we kept accidentally providing everything they needed. Warmth, moisture, food waste, shelter. We were, from their perspective, a really good deal. And over all that time, our brains kept reinforcing the same association until cockroach stopped meaning a specific insect and started meaning something more like threat, contamination, wrong. So after all of this, I don't think the honest answer is we hate cockroaches because they're dirty. It's more layered than that. We react to them because they combine three signals that our brain has been trained to take seriously for tens of thousands of years: unpredictable movement in a close space, association with environments linked to contamination, and the long history of sharing our shelter with something we did not invite. Cockroaches didn't evolve to bother us. We didn't evolve to hate them specifically. We evolved a detection system, and cockroaches, through no particular intention of their own, just kept matching the exact profile that system was built to flag. So when one appears in your kitchen tonight, your brain isn't reacting to the present moment. It's reacting to a pattern it's been refining since before electricity, since before cities, since before we had any idea what insects even were, which is almost kind of fascinating. Until one of them flies, because apparently some of them fly. And I don't care how much you understand the evolutionary biology at that point, you are grabbing the sandal. Some instincts are simply older than reason.
And if you made it this far, you're exactly the kind of person this channel is made for. Subscribing sounds like a pretty good idea, don't you think? It's free, it takes 2 seconds, and honestly, your future self will thank you. See you in the next one.